Hello, glad to see you today. I'm going to be speaking about something that I didn't plan on speaking about today. I just got out of the hospital, and while I was in the hospital this morning, I got to thinking about this, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to talk about this. It's on my mind. I'm going to talk about it. Try to explain a little bit why I have that Captain Jack Sparrow type thing going on. I haven't always been that way. I've never been the brightest fish in the sea, but it's a lot worse now. Highly noticeable. As a matter of fact, one time I was Thor, with the exception of the good looks. I was Thor. With that beach body, with the exception of the beach body, I was Thor. Anyway, let me tell you what happened. In about 2007, went to work one day. Busy, busy, busy. I've always been busy, busy, busy. I got so busy that I walked into an overhang, a rafter that was hanging out from under a roof, and it jacked my head in a weird way and knocked me mostly unconscious. And I recovered from it, got up, sat down for about 20, 30 minutes trying to shake it off, and I was a little lightheaded for a while. Anyway, that was in the morning. I worked all day, came home and from work, and I got a headache in the back of my head. Strange. I mean, pretty fierce. Well, I went to bed. That in the evening, I got up. The headache was gone. I went back to work. Came back home after work, and I sat down there. And it was 4 o'clock, straight up 4 o'clock. Between 4:30, somewhere in there. Every day for 2 weeks, that headache hit me hard in the back of my head. It was like, oh my goodness, this is strange. But anyway, one Saturday morning, I got sick. I woke up sicker than a dog, dizzy, vomiting. I don't vomit, I don't throw up. So my wife immediately knew something was wrong. Dizzy, slurred speech, and blah, blah, blah. They took me to the hospital, or she took me to the hospital, and spent half the day right there before they finally sent me home, diagnosed me with hypertension. Go home, get his blood pressure under control. Okay. Well, that evening, I don't remember much about between the morning and the evening. Just that evening, I remember these two paramedics dragging me out of the house, throwing me in an ambulance. I was trying to, talk to them, figure out what was going on, but I was move ahead. Next thing you know, as I just opened my eyes, and I was in a room with all this equipment making noise, beeping and thing, and the room was blue, and it was misting blue, some sort of blue substance. It was blue, and it was just accumulating on my face, and it was accumulating all over my body, and it was covering me. It was like I was in a horror movie. Anyhow, I'll stop right there. Bad trip. I'll just tell you that much. Bad trip. Not too long after I got out of that hospital on that deal, this is in parenthetical. I wrote some stories. I don't know why I felt compelled to write some stories, a bunch of short stories. But in one of those short stories, I write about that bad trip. You ought to read that book. Go to lulu.com. The name of it's Boar Thrashing. Boar Thrashing. Or put the author's name in there, Lulu. Steve Crawford. Anyway, get that book. Read about that bad trip and some other things. Very poorly written, but people that read it really enjoy it. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, the next thing I know is I woke up, in a hospital room in Mexico, and it was a hospital ran by cannibalistic Catholic nuns. Bad trip. Had a tube stuck out of every orifice of my body, tied down, tortured by some pretty shady people. Fast forward, went to rehab. They put me in a rehab hospital so I could learn to walk and walk again. And by that time, I was feeling sorry for myself. Got to the rehab hospital. You spend a little time in the rehab hospital where people have had strokes and brain traumas and just bad injuries. You'll stop feeling sorry for yourself. Whatever your ailment is, you go spend a week at one of those hospitals, you'll stop feeling sorry for yourself. It'll go from why me to why not me. You don't deserve good or bad, just like no more than anybody else in this world. But anyway, before I left there, they tried to prescribe me hover round and shower furniture and walker, all sorts of weirdness. I said, you know what, y'all keep that stuff, man. Like I told you, I still had the Thor mentality. It's just that I had no idea my body was weak, very weak. Matter of fact, I'll give you a little short. I tried to escape the hospital one time. This is before I even knew I had brain trauma. I just thought I was being held captive by evil people trying to eat me. I faked death and they untied me. And I thought, this is my chance. I'm getting out of here. So I got up on the edge of that bed and I pushed off and I fell over like a tree stump when something yanked me down, which was a tube stuck out of my nose and another tube stuck out of you know where. Use your imagination. Let's just say I pulled both of them out and they didn't come out easy. Well, I was laying there in blood and whatever else trying to escape out of that room and they came and got me. Anyway, I don't want to get in all that. Read the book. Please go read the book. Buy it. If 1 million of you buy it, I might make $1 million. But anyway, I told them to keep their shower furniture and their hover round. I came back to home and the wife and kids rehabbed me. They walked me around the baseball field for several months, one under each arm before I could walk without assistance. So I can walk, I can talk. They didn't expect me to be able to do either one very well. Well, I don't talk very well, but I can talk. Anyway, when I walk, my vision. You ever see somebody walk with a camera that don't have image stabilization? Well, that's how I see when I walk. Just a normal walk. It was like that for a long time, just sitting there, things moving. Now it only does it when I walk, especially when I try to run. I can't run at all. Bobbleheaded, like a bobblehead doll. That's 24/7, 7 days a week. Like I say, wake up one morning, it could happen to you. I hope it don't. What I'm saying is, I would have never thought it. I thought I was going to live to be 100 years old or more. But since then, let me tell you, I have the residuals from that are cognitive fatigue. Forget what I'm saying a lot of the times. And hyperverbal, which is pretty bad. But I have developed type 2 diabetes. I used to think people that had type 2 diabetes were just flat. Well, I ain't going to tell you what I thought about them, but I'm telling you, I've learned a little bit about type 2 diabetes. Maybe I'll do a 15-minute discourse on that. It's pretty surprising what I've learned. My A1C run 11 and 12 for years. Blood sugars run 500, 600. I got pancreatitis 5 times. I wouldn't wish pancreatitis on my worst enemy. That is painful, my friend. Oh yeah, that'll get you a tube stuck out of every orifice of your body as well. Don't get a traumatic brain injury. Avoid pancreatitis if you don't want a tube sticking everywhere, protruding from everything. I've had 3 heart attacks. I've got 5 stents. Renal failure one time. Had a plasma pharisis. Look that up. Let's just say they got 2 bagfuls of fat out of my blood right before my very eyes. Ooh, that's gross. But anyway, I'm running out of time. I got here late today. I need to get out of here before it gets dark and I freeze to death trying to get home. But thank you for giving me the time of day. And you have a nice day. I'll hopefully see you again, Lord willing, next week.